Live.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Cap the Cage. We've got a very special guest with us this week, UFC bantamweight Adrian Yañez. I know I got the pronunciation right this time after all of these years. Ahead of his fight with Rob Font in a couple of weeks here, but between that, we got Merab and Petr Yan fighting this weekend. Adrian, an honorary Serra-Longo fight team member after a couple of camps with Aljo. Adrian, thanks so much for your time, brother. We appreciate you hopping on. How you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I just got done with the sparring session just a couple hours ago and just got home, relaxed. Now it's relaxed time for a little bit, and then got to go hit a run, but I'm feeling fucking phenomenal and I'm ready to watch the fights this weekend.
There you go. There you go. And so on top of your own fighting career, which obviously going pretty well lately, you got a big top 10 matchup coming up here. But you've been kind of the de facto head coach almost at Metro Fight Club since your coach Salsa Lee's unfortunately passed away, and our condolences obviously. But so you and Rafion have just been killing it, cornering your teammates. I mean, lately, just the other week, you had Cameron Smotherman win that Fury FC bantamweight title. So what has it been like, just kind of being kind of the de facto head coach in that room?
Yeah, no, it's definitely kind of weird because I didn't ask to be in that spot. I just was kind of put in that spot, and like it is kind of weird. Like it's kind of like this little like I kind of had to take a role, a positional role. Like even though I was already like I know what I want to do after I'm done fighting, and I kind of want to be part of the fight game coach and all that stuff. But I kind of got thrusted into it like very early, so it's like, I don't really like to consider myself a coach. I just like to consider myself like a how do I say it, like a training partner, but like a guy who's like up there. I don't know what else to kind of call it. Like I guess like
One of the old
I guess
heads.
yeah, one of the old heads, mentor, all that type of stuff. Just like I've been in the fight game long enough, and a lot of these guys are just kind of just starting, or like I have guys who are peers than me, like Rafion, and then I got Matt Schnell, got Cameron Smotherman, all that stuff. So like it's just a lot. And then on top of that, like now I got my own coaches, Eve Edwards, Michael Chase Corley, and then my strength conditioning coach, Coach Phil. So yeah, like like at times I feel like a head coach, but at the same time, like I got my own coaches ahead of me, so it's kind of weird with these other guys calling me coach, and I'm like, I'm still getting coached, so that's kind of weird to me.
But please,
ask a quick
coach is my father.
Hey, can I ask a follow-up
Yeah.
question to that? Like
Yeah.
being able to be in that position of coach and a fighter at the same time, does that give you a different perspective going into fights? Like how you kind of study your way into these fights, or what you're doing to prepare for them?
Yeah, no, I definitely do. I take looks at everybody, try to see how they're doing that day, because like if like especially like if there's a guy who's kind of just like hurt and he's had a kind of like a rough week and all that stuff. I'm like, hey bro, just take these rounds off. Don't push it. You like it kind of gives me that extra approach to be like, all right, like let's try something different today. Let's move like towards like, hey, like we're gonna more focus on the technical side instead of the like we're gonna push hard because everybody thinks of training camps and like they get a fight booked. Everybody's like, oh, I gotta go hard every single day, every single day. It's like, well, that's
Yeah.
not necessarily the case anymore. Especially like I was that way for a while, and then I went up to go help Aljo for his fight, and I was like, oh, you do take the time to take care of yourself. And I was like, all right, like some days like you only have one session, but it's like the the later on it's like you're focusing on your recovery, so you have the next day to be fucking good, like so you can go hard that day. So it's like it's helped me out, like kind of seeing a lot of these camps go by like that. But at the same time, part of me kind of gets like we're all feeling like shit right now. Let's fucking gut this one through and just grind it out, So it makes me kind of put both hats on. Like, I kind of gotta tone these guys down just a little bit. But then there's those days where I'm just like, everybody's being bitches. Let's fucking go. Let's just fucking go. So yeah. And then like on the technical aspect of like watching other fights, yeah, I started like dissecting guys a little bit and like watching a little bit of him. I don't go out there and watch a whole bunch of film because especially like on the regional scene, like if I know if they got a main event spot, then I'm like, all right, cool, I'll watch. I'm watching. If amateurs, to me, I'm just like, bro, like you only have 2 fights. Like I don't need to watch film. You just need to figure out what you want to do in the fight. Like if the guy shoots in, you have to figure it out. Like amateurs for me is like you just gaining experience and all that stuff. But if you're like on the level you're about to go to the UFC, like you're like right there, that's when I started to be like, all right, well, let's see the guy that you're fighting, because that guy is more inclined to stay into the fight and not pull out, because there's big, there's big chances of either one of y'all going to the show. Like Cameron, whenever he fought Peter for the Fury belt, that one we sat back and we're like, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on like these little technical aspects, and then like someone like Rafian, well, like he's fighting Patchy Mix, and you were like, all right, we got to focus on a lot of back control, a lot of body lock stuff, a lot of these like different stances. Like we got to find a southpaw. So now, like, and luckily for that part, for someone like on the higher level guys, we're being coached by Eve Edwards and Michael Chase Corley, like our striking coach. It makes it easier for me to do all that. Like I can replicate whatever I need to do, or like I can help push in that other sense, and like. So I'm getting help on that end. So like it's not solely on me, but I run a lot of these classes.
There you go. And so it sounds like camp for this Rob Font fight is going great so far. Are we gonna see you up in New York anytime soon?
Man, I want to. I want to go out to New York, and like honestly, because like the last couple times I went, it's just been like Aljo did take me out a couple times, but the thing is, like, we had to go train the next day. So I want to go. I want to go. Like, I'm like, yeah, like,
More of a vacation.
Also, yeah, like I want to go vacation. Maybe train once or twice. Go hit Sarah's gym, then go hit the Longo gym, man, and then go have some fun right after. Because every time I went up there, there's been nothing but business. So I'm like, all right, going. Flying Sunday, leave Saturday, just kind of just go about, have some fun, train with the killers, and then after that, go home, but there hasn't been time to really sit down and enjoy New York,
Right.
But yeah, I love as much as I love Long Island, man, I want to go into the city.
Of course. Hey, listen, Long Island's great. I'm from here, but the city's where the action's at. But the next time you're up here, my tummy is sitting right here, just ready to be punched quite hard. You were the first person, I think, who shared that video of Bellator fighter Justin Montalvo, Kid Marvelous, got a big fight coming up at the end of this month, actually. Blasted me in the stomach. His nickname's the Body Snatcher, and instantly I get a notification from Adrian like, yo, I got next.
Yeah, man, I definitely do.
There you go. Yeah, Vola wants one too, but I told him he can get a leg kick. My body can only take so much. I'm on a bum right now because Ian fucked my shit up.
Adrian, I have a question for you. Who was a fighter that you looked up to become a UFC fighter? Was there somebody that inspired you to become the fighter that you are, or somebody that you kind of mimicked your game after?
Honestly, no. I just kind of got into fighting, just like I was already like wanting to be a boxer and all that stuff, and like kind of like took into the like boxing scene a lot. But then I remember like being like I was at like almost like pre-teenish type stages, like or like I was like teenage. I just turned into the teenage age years, and seeing the UFC knockouts and just seeing Matt Hughes like powerbomb fucking Carlos Newton, and just seeing that and just being like, oh, that's cool. Like that's pretty cool. I thought
that's pretty sick.
He has his legs wrapped around him, but he powerbombs him, knocks him out. I think this is pretty cool. And then after that, I just started watching fighters and started watching fights, and I wouldn't say I mimicked him, but I really admired the come up of Anderson Silva, and then watching somebody like Cain Velasquez. That was really cool. I really had loved that. And then after that, like there's a couple guys like Jose Aldo I'd looked up to. Not too many coming up, but I had like the specific fighters that I really liked watching, and also like the UFC does a really good job of like promoting these fighters that they like, and then like I just instantly fell in love with a lot of these guys. But
what fighters have you been compared to?
Oh yeah, no, Jorge Masvidal is definitely also, he's one of those guys. Though for him, I remember kind of seeing him through the Kimbo Slice backyard fights and all that stuff. It took me a second to even like realize that was actually like George. Like that was like, oh, like shit, wait, that's Masvidal. Like, wait, what? Like that's the same guy. Like it took me a second because like I remember seeing those fights when he fought Ray, and I was just like, oh shit, those are fucking bangers. I remember seeing that. He came in with his wrist taped and all that shit. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. He goes out there and just beats the dude up and shit. And then all of a sudden, like they're like, yeah, Jorge Masvidal, he's a street fight. And I look, and I was like, no, that's the same guy. Then that happened to be the same guy. And then, and and I just really loved like his style. Like I really loved his style. Like it's weird that I kind of ended up just like our style is like almost is pretty similar. We do a lot of the same shit. Like we catch kicks and counter off of that. Like we do the parrying of the kicks and you come back and rip some shots. And we have a lot of the same. It's like stance wise, we have the same kind of cadence and all that stuff. Like it's weird, because I really did like watching him fight just because I thought his boxing was slick and his hands were really good, especially whenever he kind of like was actually pressing the action. There's a couple times where a lot of those like split decisions going the other way kind of was like a little bit of a slow fight, but whenever he was on, he was fucking on, and I appreciated those fights.
There you go. What else can you do as a fan?
Yeah.
Was fighting in the Austin crowd your favorite fight so far?
No, definitely. That definitely was my favorite. Man, my family was there. My son was there. Like it was a cool moment. Like it was a cool moment, especially with all the build up and all the like that fight got bumped to the main card, and like it was just happened to be like fucking just everything just worked around perfectly. Yeah, we're supposed to be the premiere, the featured prelim before they go in, and then I guess that Dom Cerrone fight fell off, and then next I get bumped up to main card and everything, like just a storyline. He doesn't like me. I fucking don't like that guy. and then afterwards, like the whole how he's just like flicking off the crowd and all that stuff, and me just kind of being like the baby in that situation, the baby face in that situation, walking down like and keeping a stoic face and just like beating the shit out of him was fun. It definitely was my favorite.
Yeah, you had awesome composure in that fight. I loved it. It looked like you kind of got under his skin a little bit. That was my favorite performance so far as well. I'm a Texas cat myself. I'm a little upset that they didn't throw you on the San Antonio card.
Yeah, no, we were trying as hard as we could to get on the San Antonio card. I was like getting upset with my manager, just being like, what is up with this? Like I was texting, I was like, what the fuck is 2 weeks, man? What the fuck is 2 weeks, man? Like just like I was talking mad shit to my manager, just like not like about the situation, not to him. But I was like, come on, bro. Like, this opportunity was made for me. Like, fighting in San Antonio. I just came off of a big win in Austin. I'm a Texas guy. I'm a Texas boy, man. Like, I'm here. I'm me. I'm Texas. So I was like, man, what the fuck do I got to do to get this spot? I don't care if I'm co-main event. I don't care if I'm opening up. I just got to be on the San Antonio card because I already knew, like, I was going to, I knew it was going to be like a big draw on my end.
Oh, yeah.
For like the fans and all that stuff. But he told me April 8th is the date. And I was just pretty much I was mad all up until they had that, Dana White did that whole, like the fight card breakdown. And I was like, oh shit. All right. You know what? This makes sense for it. That's
a great card to be on pay-per-view. That's an awesome card to be a part of. But speaking of the San Antonio card, that's another. It's going to be kind of a banger with two bantamweights with Cory Sandhagen and Marlon Chito Vera. What is your early prediction for that fight?
Early predictions, just off the top of my head. Whew, yeah, that's a fucking banger.
Such a good fight.
It's such a perfectly well matched fight. Cory Sandhagen is a dog. He doesn't give a shit, and also Chito Vera is a dog who doesn't give a shit. I like that. I like that. And it's kind of just like who's gonna break? And I don't think either of those guys have a breaking point. Cory, like he doesn't mind going toe to toe. He'll move around. He'll make it look good, make it look fancy. And then Chito Vera, he not saying he won't make it look good, but he'll make it ugly and try to make it into a war. And man, Chito can take a shot. Sandhagen can take a shot. I feel like that's going to go the distance. I don't feel like anybody's getting finished in that one. I feel that one goes the distance. There's going to be a fight of the night for sure. Who I'm leaning towards,
Here we go.
It depends on that third round for me. Does the footwork and like keeping Chito guessing, does that keep it like, how can I say it? Does that keep it like does Chito start to figure him out at round 3? Like, if it was a 3-round fight, I would be pulling for Cory in a sense of like, that's where I'm putting my money at. That's where I'm putting my money on Cory, because I feel like he would make the 2 rounds, and then Chito would come back in that third and make it a dog fight, and he would win that round. But in this 5-round fight, what's gonna go on? I know Chito's gonna take the last 2 just because he's just that guy that's just never gonna stop coming, and I feel with that type of mentality that he has, he's going to give it all for those last 2 rounds. It's just that third round to me is kind of just who the fuck is going to take that, because I don't know if Cory's going to try to switch it up, or if he's going to keep that same style, moving around, strike, move, make it pretty, or if Chito's pressure will start to wear on him just slightly, and that's all.
Yeah, that's
Chito
a
needs.
tough fight.
It
so,
is a tough fight.
In your opinion, you think whoever wins round 3 wins that fight?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's how I'm believing it. I'll say that.
And lastly, we have another fight coming up this weekend that we wanted to get your opinion on. Well, at least myself. We have Merab Dvalishvili and Petr Yan going at it. What is your prediction for this fight?
Man, I feel that's a great fight for the both of them, in a sense that Yan, he's purely defensive, in the sense that he doesn't want to get taken down. He wants to keep standing. He wants to figure you out, and then kind of make his way into hitting those counter shots and try to get the finish. But also Merab is the guy that's not going to get fucking tired, and whether you like it or not,
the machine,
he ain't never going to stop coming your way. So I'm really looking forward to, excited to this fight, just like not even as a competitive perspective. I am looking at this as a fan, because I just don't think either of those guys are going to have that quit in them. Yan, I feel that Merab has the advantage in the sense of the wrestling and that nonstop cardio, but Yan has that devastating power, and he's really good. He's really sound defensively. So they both have to be perfect on both sides. Because if Merab has a slip up or Yan has a slip up, it's going to be night for the both of them, either one of them. So, but for me, I've moved around with Merab, and I'm giving it to Merab. And also too, man, he also just lost to Petr Yan, lost to Aljo, and you see the deficiencies that Yan had, so you can kind of build up off of it, and and build a game plan around that. And
right,
I really do think that Merab can get him down and get a finish if Petr Yan, his cardio is not able to be up to par.
I really like that prediction. I was kind of siding with the Merab Dvalishvili side of things as well. I do think Aljo kind of laid out a blueprint of how to beat Petr Yan. It was a competitive fight, but I think the blueprint was there. And Merab, he's just a machine, man. Like.
Yeah, also just to even add on to that, man, Merab can put you against the fence and keep you there. Like he can do really good, fantastic things off the fence. Just look at his fight with Jose Aldo. It's exciting. It is like unentertaining as a fight kind of was. Is like kind of more like it was a slow paced type of fight, but Merab can do that and get the win.
He fought the fight he had to fight.
Yeah. Like, because no one's standing in front of Aldo.
Right.
One.
Right.
No,
right.
So like it's for me, like I would be telling Merab the same things. Like, you put him against the fence, you get him down, you can tire him out, like you beat the shit out of him, So, but he got that fight, he got that win, and honestly, he can pull that exact same game plan against Yan, and pretty much ride the wave, and take that and take a dub against Yan. Yan has to be fucking perfect for him to get that for him to win that fight.
Could I ask a question? Because, so Yan lost 3 of his last 4 fights. From a fighter perspective, when you have that type of streak of more losses than wins, obviously, right, and you're facing someone who's been in good form as far as like, being able to take care of business in our side. And how does that confidence hit you, right? You lost 3 of your last 4, going to another fight, and then you're expected to beat this person too, right? Because you're the favorite in the fight. Like, are you mentally prepared, or do you have to do anything else differently to prepare mentally for fights like this when you're on a losing streak?
Yeah, man, your back's against the wall. Everything's kind of just held against you, and you're honestly, just to add another thing to the another firewood to the flame, is that you're expected to beat Merab. Like, oh shit, I'm the favorite in this, and I've lost my last 3, even though one was an illegal shot, and like he kind of got control on his back, and then he had a tough fight against Sean O'Malley. Against Sean O'Malley.
Scored that fight for Yan personally.
I did too. I rewatched it. Sean even scored the fight for Pewter. Like in the octagon, he was like, "Oh, I lost the fight," But
yeah. So it's like it was a tough, close fight. But honestly, all that kind of wears on you. You had a goose egg in your last 3 fights on the win column. So whether he was winning that fight against Aljo in the first place, but time told, and Aljo got the win. So for me to look at that and kind of be like, oh shit, like I have a goose egg and wins. I'm expected to beat Merab. There's a lot of pressure on him. There should be if he's not feeling it, then that's on him. That's good, but there should be some type of pressure on him. He should be out there just like fucking working. I know he's working hard, but at the same time, he's just kind of just like, if that's not affecting him, that's fucking phenomenal, because man, that would be a lot of pressure on somebody, man. Especially if you have a tough test in front of you like Merab. That motherfucker's just gonna be in your face for 25 minutes.
I love it. I like that.
Absolutely. And so we briefly touched on him before. We were talking to some Chito Vera. Chito Vera put on quite a fight with your opponent you're lined up with now, Rob Font. So one of the recurring themes that we saw in that fight, right, was it was Font coming out with the volume, but Chito doing the big damage, right? But to Font's credit, every time he got hurt, his recovery was phenomenal. Right back to his feet, wits right back about him, whatever it is. So I wanted to ask you, knowing that how his last performance went, do you feel like if you get Rob Font hurt, is there going to be a crazy sense of urgency to dive in there and get the finish and get him out of there and just not leave anything to chance?
Honestly, I feel like that's what has been their problem, is jumping on him way too fast and way too quickly. Like Jose Aldo had him hurt and was just fucking just saw like red and just went after him, just forgot it, like that this guy is still a live dog. And then also Chito did the same thing too. He hurt him, he stalked him a little bit more, but there's a couple things that he did that were just kind of just like a little bit jumpy, got himself in a situation, and then that's how Rob Font recovered. Honestly, you have to be a patient killer against this guy, man. The dude's a fucking cockroach, and I mean that in a good sense. Like, the guy's hard to fucking kill. The guy's hard to fucking kill. Like, there's no disrespect behind that guy. Just doesn't fucking die.
Survive a nuclear war.
Yeah, so he's out there. He got hit with a bomb by Jose Aldo, and then got hit with bombs by Chito Vera. Like, bro, like, hey, he's just hard to kill. So, for me, I know if I get him hurt, I have to set up these next shots. Everything that I'm gonna do is gonna be kill shots. Like, I have to make sure I put him down. If I put him down in there, if I hurt him, I have to make sure just like you have to double tap these guys, man. Just like in the zombie movies, man. You hit that guy in the chest, you hit the zombie in the chest, so he's not dead. You gotta double tap, put one in the head just to make sure he's out for good. So that's my mentality towards it. Like, looking for whenever I'm going for the finishes, I'm gonna double tap him. I'm gonna make sure he's not getting up the next time. I want to make sure that he's I want to make sure that there's no fighting chance for him to recover and come back. Like, that's my mentality towards it. And whether I hurt him in the first or I hurt him in the third, it's gonna still be the same mentality. I'm gonna strategically get him out of there. I'm not gonna go out there and like force it. If I hurt him, I'm not gonna be running at him like just guns blazing, like, and start throwing, spinning, whatever. I'm gonna do it very, very tactfully.
There you go.
Hopefully
and so I know
right. Tactfully.
Listen,
yeah.
We know you like to strike. We know you love the hands. Is this the fight where we finally see some of that underrated Adrian Yañez BJJ? So listen, I've seen some of those rounds in the up at Law with you and some of these guys who can really fucking grapple. And listen, man, you can fucking grapple.
Man, I'll say like this. I'm gonna make him shoot. I am gonna make him shoot, and it just depends whether it's all dependent on me what I see, because like what I see, like from whenever he gets put on the ground, puts on his back, most of his stuff that he does is pretty basic jiu-jitsu, and I'm like there's some basics that from what I have seen, like, oh, okay, that should be easy to deal with, but he is kind of squirmy, so it's like kind of like, do I even want to play the game? I personally don't, because I want to knock him out. I'm not looking for submissions. I'm not looking for a TKO. I want to finish. Like, I want to knock out. I want to get that record of like six performance bonuses, so that's what I want. So I won't be shooting, but if the opportunity presents itself where he shoots in and I can get phenomenal position, then I'm taking that. And but I'm not gonna force it. It's gonna be on him whether he shoots, and I feel if I make Font shoot, then that automatically puts me in there as one of the best boxers in the UFC, because I made the boxer shoot. So that's what that's where I'm gonna leave that at.
That's a good way
we're gonna need to clip this part for our preview for that card, because we're gonna know exactly what to bet for that fight.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, a wise man once said, "First one to shoot is a dusty bitch." So, Adrian, you have been beyond generous with your time, brother. We really appreciate it. Why don't you tell the people where they could get one of these shirts?
Oh man, yeah. Honestly, so those ones, that's actually one of the last ones you can get.
This is vintage now.
Hey, yeah, it's vintage now. But yeah, you can go to Millions, because I do all my started doing all my merch through Millions. It makes it so much easier for me. Like, I was running around with like a chicken with his head cut off, like just running around. So I'll say like this: you can go to Millions. I have merch up there. They also have actually, like, I think there's like one more poster left to be signed. I gotta send those out. But yeah, they have like I do watch alongs with them. You can get my merch off there. I should be having a really cool shirt coming out that I threw out the design that I wanted, and I feel like it's something for me. It's not for anybody else. It's something for me that I want to put on the website for everybody to purchase. But yeah, millions.co. Go to my website. Go to my page. They got millions of other fighters on there as well. You can find your favorite fighters on there, even pro athletes. But yeah, that man, I just did an ad for them. Damn it.
No free ads. But yeah, no, you got some great merch on there. I always loved the Aztec Warrior one. I thought that shirt was fire.
That one, I think that one's actually on my actual MMA website, like YañezMMA.com website.
Right.
That one should still be up. For sure.
Okay.
Just the AY with the Yañez shirt, there's definitely it's they all got sold
well,
out.
if these are gone, then I'm gonna have to stop wearing this to the gym, because I got blood all over this shit the last time I was at the gym sparring.
Oh yeah, I think you were wearing that shirt when you kicked in.
Yeah, correct. That I was. Yes. But yes. All right, Adrian, thank you so much for joining us again. Anything else you want to plug before we let you go?
Millions.co. Hit them up. I do watch alongs with them as well. Join me. They should be adding an experience where I can like have people come into my actual stream and watch with me. Also, check out my YouTube channel. I'm starting to put together a road to 287 on there. Got a lot of content coming out. Also, check out my OnlyFans. I got my OnlyFans stuff up there. A whole bunch of weirdos on there, but at the same time, it's still cool, because I'm able to have like free conversations and post whatever I want on there. Yeah, it's been fun, man. It's been fun being able to monetize my content. Has been fun.
Hell yeah,
awesome, that's dope, man. Definitely appreciate it.
We appreciate the time, Adrian.
Man, thank you. Y'all have a good one.
All right, peace.
You too, brother. Appreciate you. Be good.
That was so dope.
That was dope, man.
He's the homie, man. Such a great dude.
Yeah, we definitely need to know when we cap that card. We're going knockout. That's exactly what he's calling out.
Yes,
shit, we're going to the card.
Let's actually get into one of the fights that he talked about first. The Yan and Merab. We didn't really get a chance to talk to him about the fact that he was able to train and train with those guys and maybe he did have some effect. I don't know. Did they?
He's rolled with one guy and he's emulated the other. So he's got to have some insight here, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wonder if they actually called him to get some more insight on that. Like, you know what I mean? Or
I think from the story that I remember, didn't Aljo reach out to Yan to bring him up, or to to Adrian Yañez before the Yan fight for, you know, just like boxing and stuff, sparring?
Correct. Yeah. Aljo brought him in for the second Yan camp.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But yeah, this is the one. I think we were pretty aligned with this one too. We all like Merab in the spot here, and I think for the most part, you know, Adrian kind of mentioned it, is because of the grappling, right? The advantage on the grappling side here.
Pressure.
Extra, yeah, exactly. So we got Yan 16-4, Merab 15-4. Obviously, we talked about you know, the confidence level of Yan here after losing 2 in a row and 3 of the last 4 as well. And the pressure that he has, especially being a favorite coming into this one. Merab, he's been looking really good his last few fights here. You guys want to break it down a little bit more?
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. I have a limited time on the show, but what I will say is Merab, what he does is he takes you out of your comfort zone, and that's exactly what he did to Jose Aldo. He took him out of his comfort zone. I don't see why he can't do the same to Petr Yan, who doesn't really use lateral movement to get away from, you know, clinch situations. This is a number spot for me. If you think Yan should be worthy of, what is he, like minus 250, minus 300 now, then that's on you. But as a favorite, it has not been profitable to back him at those odds.
Yeah.
Merab Dvalishvili, you might not see a plus 200 next to his name again. We talked about this with Aaron Blanchfield. It's upside plus momentum. This is a machine. They call him the machine for a reason. He will take you out of your comfort zone. He will take you down. Sure, we saw him get rocked by Marlon Moraes, but guess what else he did? He recovered and whooped his ass after that. So that I kind of see the fight as a numbers game, right? And while I do think Yan is great, I think that there is a blueprint that Aljo kind of laid out for Merab to, you know, get the win or at least make it competitive. I think he's going to make it more competitive than what the price indicates. Therefore, I like Merab. And the hot take of the week, and if you're telling me hot take, Yan knocks out Merab, that's not a hot take. That's juiced.
Right. That's like what's supposed to happen.
That's what's supposed to happen. That's what's priced to happen. But yeah, I do think that I think Merab gets a TKO stoppage, ground and pound, plus 850, bet online. Yeah, I sprinkled it. I'm not going to bet on what's supposed to happen. You're locking 2 guys in a cage. You heard it from Yañez. You're hearing it from me. The odds are just off, you know, to me, betting is all perspective based. So from my perspective, I just think upside plus momentum is with Merab. I think the number is off. He'll be a bet this week.
Dude, I was shocked at how wide this was. Absolutely shocked. Listen, I don't have a huge problem with Yan being the favorite. I understand that stylistically, but I figure it would be something in the minus 150 plus 130 range.
Mm-hmm.
Minus 230 and plus 210 or whatever is fucking crazy to me. That is way, way, way too wide.
Right.
And like you said, listen, Merab, Aljo's main training partner. They're very close. They roll all the time. They spar all the time. Like, they are on the same level as far as their grappling goes, or at least damn near it. Like you said, Pat, Aljo laid the blueprint out. We know how to beat Petr Yan, and we know that Merab has the skill set that can beat Petr Yan. That's kind of his kryptonite, so to speak, you know? So at that price, and obviously, hand up, I'll be the first one to tell you I'm fucking biased. I get to fucking watch him train and hang out with him and all of that shit. Of course I'm biased towards the guy. He's an awesome dude. But at that price, I think Merab is the bet, the only bet.
Love it.
I like it. All right, let's move on to Pat. What time you got to leave?
I think I have like 20 more minutes.
I think we'll be good to go then.
We can do it.
Yeah, we got Romanov and Volkov here. I think we're kind of aligned on this one as well. Low key. All right, so I think we are aligned with Romanov money line, especially. I think Pat. I forgot what Harry mentioned, but I wanted to take some plus money on this one, and I actually was looking at the sub plus 275 here. What do you guys think about that at plus 275 with the sub? So obviously Volkov got the reach and length advantage here, but I just feel like that, you know, I think we've seen something, especially in the more recent cards, that wrestling and grappling is really taking advantage of those who are primarily like strikers and stuff like that. So That's like the stylistic part that I'm still kind of learning from you guys when you break down these cards. But that's one thing that I was seeing in this one is we can get Romanov at money line at minus money, but we could also get sub at plus 275, which seems like a pretty good price. What are your thoughts on this?
So my problem here is, so Romanov lost his last fight as a big favorite, or no, the Tibura fight was his last fight. He was a big favorite going into that Tibura fight. That was kind of his first real step up in competition. He was kind of fighting, as you can see, the Chase Shermans of the world before that, and fucking hitting forearm chokes on Rodrigo, whatever the fuck his name is, Nascimento. So I don't know. It just feels like he had a really close fight with Juan Espino that a lot of people thought that he lost. So it doesn't necessarily make sense to me that he's favored against a guy like Volkov going into this fight where, yeah, Volkov's probably a little bit over the hill, a little bit past his prime, but still a really talented dude, still going to be the most talented fighter Romanov has ever fought for sure. Mm-hmm. So big, so long, tough to get inside of. And a lot of Romanov's game is based off of those trips and throws and clinch work and shit like that. So I don't think I can back. I like Romanov as a prospect. Like, I think he's a heavyweight who can do like 3 good things, which makes him by default better than 90% of heavyweights on the roster. But I just can't back him as a favorite taking another step up in competition after that Tibura fight. I just can't do it.
Right.
Yeah, Pat, what do you thought?
I think the market is sharp on this fight. I think that it's starting to align up. You know, if you got Romanov early at like minus 130, I do think that was the right side, but I think it's starting to sharpen up. And I don't really see an edge for either fighter because both present similar, dangers to one another. With Romanov, it'd be the takedowns. For Volkov, it'd be the stand-up and probably the cardio, I would say. However, in that last fight against Tybura, keep in mind, I saw a lot of people mentioning this, they fought at elevation. So, of course, Romanov is going to gas out in that third round. Mm-hmm. But for what it's worth, I mean, he made it really competitive and even dominated round 1. And I don't know if he won round 2. That was really, that was toss-up. But what I will say as well is if you look at Romanov's career, he's been a favorite almost every single fight, a big, massive favorite. Actually, probably every single fight. And now you're getting him at these odds. I don't know, man. It's the market's starting to sharpen up for me. I don't really have too much of a take. I do think that if you are, betting the prop, Ronald, as you mentioned, the sub, I think that would probably be the right side. But for me, it's kind of a passive a fight for me.
Gotcha. Let's move on to the next one. This one was the fight that got canceled a couple weeks ago. Spann and Krylov here. I think initially when we were breaking this down for the first time around, we were looking towards Spann. And Spann, a little bit. I think we were talking about inside the distance as well, if I'm not mistaken. But Harry, let's start with you here. What are your thoughts on this fight?
I'm so tired of fucking 205 and heavyweight slop. I'm so tired of it. We have to protect Ryan Spann is good. I just don't know, man. It's like I think Krylov is probably the better fighter. I've never really been particularly high on Ryan Spann, and knocking out Dom Reyes doesn't really change my opinion very much because I also don't think Dom Reyes is very good. I don't know. Yeah, like I think Oezdemir for Krylov is a better win than probably any win on Spann's resume, if we're just being quite honest. So I think Krylov has the better strength of schedule, is probably the more well-rounded fighter, better grappler, also a good striker. I think Krylov should win this fight. I'm not 100% sure if I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be betting this fight one way or the other. Maybe I can get a good number on the reverse brain over as I'm sitting here thinking about it. This feels like one that like just has going the distance written all over it. But I'm definitely not taking Spann as no, Krylov is the slight favorite, right?
Yeah, Krylov is Krylov's favorite.
I think that's probably the play. I would probably play Krylov up to like minus 180 or so, but I also don't feel the need to force a play in this fight. So if I do play this fight, it'll probably be small just to have some, just to have some rooting interest, just to have some action on it. But I don't think Ryan Spann's very good. I don't think Krylov is a world beater by any means, but I think he's slightly better. That's really what it comes down to for me.
Yeah, Pat, what do you think about this one?
I think last week, well, actually, I know for a fact, last week we had 13 out of the 14 favorites win. This is a dog card. I think Ryan Spann is going to be one of those dogs that barks this weekend. Be careful with the favorites this weekend. Nikita Krylov as well. We're 2 weeks removed from him having a stomach bug. They pulled him off on the main card. You know, I think it was like 20 minutes before the fight even started or something.
He was actually dressed and ready to go, and then something happened, and then they were like, all right, well, it's not going to happen anymore.
Yep, didn't clear it. So now he has to cut weight twice in the same week. That goes to the same for Ryan Spann. But, I mean, don't be surprised if they move this up to a catch weight as well at like 220. You know, don't be shocked if they do that later on in the week. I like Spann at the dog odds. I just see momentum plus upside plus a good training camp at Fortis MMA. I like where he's at right now. He's only lost 2 fights in the UFC. And you know, it's easy to look at, you know, those losses as negatives, but you can also look at them as positives. He learned from him, you know, the following bouts that he had. I like Ryan Spann. I like the number. It's just hard for me to back Nikita Krylov. Sure, he can mix it up. He is, I think, more well-rounded from what we see. But I just, you know, he as a favorite, he just kind of drops the ball sometimes. So overall, I think the value's on the underdog in the spot. Give me Spann.
All right.
Fair enough.
So kind of mixed I guess mixed angles on all these fights so far. So let's move on to the next one here. Let's go with Nurmagomedov and Martinez. I think you guys were, well, at least Pat, I think you were looking towards the Martinez side here, right?
Strong. I love Martinez. This is another spot where we're betting the number. Jonathan Martinez is good. He's a hot prospect, you know, and sure, he's been knocked out. He's been chinned and stuff, but those are lessons that he can learn from. Said Nurmagomedov is going to give him the fight that he wants. This is going to be a striking fight, Muay Thai stand-up. The thing with Said that I don't like, you know, we saw it last week too. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but when you throw that spinning shit, you're putting yourself in these compromising positions. And that's what Said's known for. Hooks, spin kicks, wheel kicks. He does all that kind of stuff. I think the number is just way off. This is another spot where give me the dog. I think this is a dog card. And, you know, for those that have an opposing view, you know, that's fine because Nurmagomedov, according to the odds, is supposed to win this fight. Is he supposed to win that fight, this fight at that rate? I don't think so. Some of those wins as well, I mean, he had a little bit of hiccups. Yeah, look at that loss. Raoni Barcelos. Okay, Barcelos is kind of a plotty boxer. All right. Martinez is going to be moving laterally. He's not going to shoot for, you know, stupid time takedowns like Cody Stamann did and get caught. He's not going to, you know, shoot a predictive takedown like Said Youcapper. Said Youcapper, he was winning that whole fight, by the way. He just got caught, okay? He should not have been cut from the UFC, but he was on his way to winning that fight. He was actually dominating for what it's worth.
Terrible cut. Horrible cut.
Horrible cut.
I might be working on a little something for Said Youcapper. We'll see.
Yeah, let's see, man.
Okay.
But yeah, give me Jonathan Martinez at the number. I think that the number is just way off, way disrespectful. This is you know, a stylistic matchup where I would say Said Nurmagomedov should be priced closer to about minus 145. So for those reasons, because it's so inflated, I'll buy back on the underdog in the spot.
Yeah, Harry, do you agree with Pat here on this one?
I don't disagree. The only thing that scares me is that I feel like I'm seeing, maybe it's just my weird little bubble, you know, we all create our little bubbles here on the internet and we kind of are subjected to the same opinions and views and people over and over, but I'm seeing so much consensus on Martinez that it's starting to worry me. You know what I mean? A wise man once told me public dogs have fleas. That's what I was told. So while, yes, I agree with the read, I agree with all of that. I think there is absolutely a path to victory for Martinez. I'll probably sprinkle it at plus 215 because why not at that point? But the consensus is starting to worry me a little bit. So we'll see.
Hey, Brendan Allen would like to have a word with you.
Fair. That's fair. That's fair. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what the price looks like come Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised to see it narrow a little before then. Like, especially like I'm saying, if we're all seeing all of the same people picking Martinez and max bet this and blah, 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 that. So
yeah,
I agree that Martinez is the value side. I'm just a little worried that like this is one of those fights where it comes out and like exactly what's supposed to happen on paper is what happens, you know?
Right. I wouldn't be shocked either. It's a numbers game for me.
Sure, yeah, for sure. At that number, I can't fault anybody who plays Martinez.
Yeah, that makes sense. So let's move on to Fremd and Dumas. I think you guys both were aligned on this one here. Pat, let's start with you on your breakdown here.
All right. So speaking of public, the public is actually all over Dumas. Dumas is the most bet fighter this week with 93% of the handle on him this week, according to Vision.
Also a terrible person. Just a quick sidebar. Horrible person.
He's not really a good person, man. If you
like you guys know, like
no.
Deadass, like he got arrested for like beating the shit out of his baby mama, like a very bad individual,
and somebody who was like 98 pounds or something. Was that her? Or
I
no?
believe
There's a story
so,
out
yes.
there where like,
oh my God,
just not a good person, man. And this is a guy who, you know, he's trying to mimic what Jorge Masvidal did and like his fight game as far as like street fights. He, you know, had these backyard fights. They would record it. It was all for internet purposes. He has more fight tape on World Star Hip Hop than he does on UFC or the Tape Index. Like, not really a good person. You know, I see the consensus all over Dumas. I'm not buying it. I don't really understand it. Fremd is not a bad fighter. Let's not forget he was favored over RoboCop, and had he won that fight, he would have been in the UFC a lot sooner.
Right.
He was
an LFA champion, was he not?
Yeah, he was the LFA champion. Fremd can mix it up well. He is a good fighter. Like, he's well-rounded. I think he can present some issues. This is a guy that I'm interested in backing at peak odds. Expect more money coming in on Dumas and expect that line to widen. You know, it's dog weekend. This is another dog that I'm looking at, just not right now. I think that we can see probably plus 185 by the time that this fight kicks off. Just with all the money on Dumas, it's going to become a liability at that point.
I'm 100% with you, Pat. I think that this is an excellent buy low spot on Fremd. I think that the line is deflated coming off of a loss to Tresean Gore, where Gore kind of finally put it together, got a nice sub. The optics on that submission obviously weren't great, with Fremd basically getting fucking ragdolled across the cage. But like you said, at the end of the day, he's a good fighter, man. He's a good fighter. Not to mention the fact that fading Contender Series debutantes is a long-term profitable strategy no matter what. So that should basically be an auto bet for you in almost any situation, especially when the guy is favored in his UFC debut coming off Contender Series. So every sign here tells me that Fremd is the bet. And like you said, I do think more money comes in on Dumas. I think the line probably gets a little bit wider. So I'll also be waiting until Saturday to try and get the best price I can. But excellent buy low spot here. Excellent dog value on Josh Fremd. I like that play a lot.
All right. I love the alignment there. Let's move on to, we got two more fights that I have listed. So this one is Bautista and Cannetti here. This one just caught my eye just because we've been talking about it in the most recent shows about like the age gap between fighters. And we took in the first couple of shows, we took a couple of the older guys with a lot of experience. We got burnt by them. Last week, we took a younger guy against someone who's up there in age, and we ended up winning. This one, I'm just looking at the history over here and the fact that, you know, he's been able to finish his last two in the first round. He obviously the age gap is huge here. He's coming off a fight where he actually beat Randy Costa here, but do you think that the age gap is going to come into play here in this one? Wait, is this minus 1,000 for real?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Holy shit, I didn't look at the line at all. Is this something that's going to be a quick fight?
It's expected to be at those odds. If you're minus 1,000, you better be getting it done in round one.
Fucking better be. Yeah.
You better be getting it done in round one. I'm not going to have a strong take on this fight. I think Cannetti is the value side for obvious reasons. I don't think Bautista should be, you know, this high. We've seen him drop by Trevin Jones. Trevin Jones lost last weekend to Cody Garbrandt. This is a guy who does not throw. Imagine losing to that guy.
That was nasty.
You know, so with that being said, if you're looking for, you know, a fuck it play of the week, it'd probably be Cannetti in round one at like plus 2,000. But overall, I'm not going to have any kind of money involved in this fight. Minus 1,000, way too wide. 43-year-old aging bantamweight. Not really interested in betting him either. Yeah, I'm not going to have exposure to this fight yet. I mean, I might actually entertain Cannetti. I just kind of talked myself into it.
I was about to say, man, I think I'm gonna fucking do it. I think I'm gonna bite the bullet and sprinkle Cannetti. I mean, it was similar odds in his fight against Randy Costa. I think he was like a plus 400 underdog, something like that. And he came out and just fucking grown man Costa. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just showed him that fucking grown man strength.
So the last two, he's finished in the first round. That's crazy.
Crazy, dude. So on top of that, he is 42 years old, but he's only got 16 career fights, right? And I do think when assessing age and when assessing, you know, if somebody's quote unquote washed or whatever it may be, I think cage time is a lot more important than your actual age itself. Just how much damage you've taken, how many fucking wars you've been in. That shit adds up. But I actually think the best play in this fight, you can get the over 1.5 at plus 140. So I know everyone is apparently expecting Bautista to come out and just nuke Guido, but like we haven't really seen Guido get finished super fast, like especially not lately. So I especially think if Guido is able to get a takedown, get this fight to the mat, I don't see any reason that he shouldn't be able to survive 7.5 minutes. You're going to give me plus money on that, dude. I like that.
Love it.
All right, let's move on to the last one here before we get into the bets here. It's Tyson Nam, Bruno Silva. To go here. Pat, let's start with you here. What are your thoughts on this one? Do you see any advantage on this side? You were saying it's a dog fight, and I was kind of looking towards Nam, so I was hoping you had something on this one.
I'm not going to have a lot to actually give here. I'm going to lean Nam at the number, but this is a fight where ultimately I'm going to pass. I don't have a strong enough take, but I think Nam at dog odds is not a horrible play. I just don't think Silva is really worthy of that kind of a price tag. What is his last win? Was it JP Bays?
Are you talking about Silva?
Yeah, Silva. Victor Rodriguez. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
JP Bays is the world's worst man.
That's not telling me enough. So, yeah, overall, this is a pass for me. Pass of a fight.
Harry, what are your thoughts on this one?
That's fair. I think I'm with you, RC. Tyson Nam, for context, is one of those guys that I've never been able to quit. He is just one of those guys that I couldn't even tell you why. I like him. I like watching him fight. I consider myself a fan. I enjoy Tyson Nam fights. So I do think that at the number, he's probably worth a little bit of a sprinkle. You know what I mean? Plus 165. Why not? It's flyweight. There's a lot of action, a lot of turnover. Obviously, Nam's a little bit on the older side, so you worry about when that's kind of gonna catch up to him, but I do think at the price, if you're making a bet on this fight, Nam is probably the play. I don't think Silva is. I haven't seen anything from Silva that tells me that he's going to be anything special. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that Tyson Nam is special, but Tyson Nam is at least we know he is a UFC level fighter, you know?
Yeah. And experienced. He's experienced as well.
You're not going to show him anything in the cage he hasn't seen before.
Right.
Yeah, Silva hasn't fought in a couple of years too. It looks like 2021 was the last time he fought Victor Rodriguez. So that time apart too might be something to
little ring rust.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of rust there. All right, well, that was all I had for the list of fights that we were going to be talking about. Let's move on to the last part of the show here, which is basically just us putting our plays in. Let me get to that page there. So recap of last week, we did not do well, and a lot of it had to do with Gane. We were really confident in Gane, and that backfired. I think
we were wrong.
We talked about Harry. You talked about public dogs, right? I think that was a situation where
public dogs have fleas.
Yeah, exactly. We also had Mana Martinez ended up losing that fight as well. But hopefully we get back on track. We're still on the season, on the year, up to over 2 units. So. And a lot of it has to do with because of how we bet our how we have our bets. Our average 168 plus 168. So being able to do that, even though we're 12, 13, and 1, still got us on the positive side. So let's move to the fights here and see where we can get the bets going. So first one up, that I remember us having pretty much alignment on is Merab here, and we do want to just go in and take the money line, right?
I took money line. I think that's generous. I also took the TK or the inside the distance prop at plus 850. I think he's gonna finish Petr Yan, but
I like that.
Again, this is all odds related. This is odds related. This is not like.
Do you like the ITD too, Harry?
I do, but I think just playing it straight up is the safer play.
Gotcha.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Exactly. It's like at plus 215, we're getting a good enough price that it doesn't feel like we need to find a way to get better value. You know what I mean? So why not just fucking ride it out?
Do we take that full unit then?
I got no problem
what I did.
with that. Yeah.
All right. Okay. After that, it gets really funky. So it sounds like no Romanov, right?
I don't think so. I might sprinkle the reverse brain over in that fight, but that's about it.
No Spann Krylov.
Gross.
Did you guys have anything on? Well, I think Martinez was one that Pat wanted. Harry, do you agree with Martinez here at plus 850 on the?
I think I think it's the value side. I think it's the value. I have no problem chucking a half unit at that.
The plus 8. Sorry, not plus 850. What's the plus 850? Pat,
that's Merab inside the distance.
Gotcha.
That's Merab inside the distance. I'm sorry about Jonathan Martinez is not plus 850.
It's just the money line, right?
Yeah, just the money line.
We can get plus 215 here. What are your
all about though, boys?
What's your confidence level here? What's your confidence level here? Are we doing a full unit?
I have a full unit on Jonathan Martinez, but if Harry wants a half unit, then that's fair. I mean, at the end of the day, I still think that side should be the favorite.
What do you think, Harry? Half, 3/4?
Let's go 3/4. Let's meet in the middle.
Let's do the 3/4. All right. Okay. So I see another one from Pat here, the Lipsky sub.
Love my girl, Ariana Lipsky.
Bro, plus 1400. It's plus 1400 for submission. Like,
I think all of our brains are broken. We all saw that one knee bar, and now we're all like Lipsky by sub every single time.
I know. I'm gonna pull
one knee bar, and it was a
hey, plus 1400. I put $10 on it. I win 140. Like, I'm cool with it. You know, roll the dice. Hey guys, I gotta jump out of here. It was cool, but I got another show right now. So,
all right, Pat.
Pleasure, brother.
Good luck. Let's go catch the
wrap up here.
Yeah, I'll catch you up. All right, Harry. Man, this is where Fremd, you guys were aligned there.
Yes, right? Absolutely, definitely a full unit on Josh Fremd.
All right, let's do that one. So plus 180 at Bet Online is the best one we could do. All right, let's get that one.
It's a good price, man. It's a good price, and like I said, I won't be surprised. I agree with Pat to see that line get a little bit wider come Saturday, but for our purposes, plus 180 is more than fine.
I like it. Okay, so far we got 3 going. Other than that, it didn't seem like there was a lot of alignment anywhere else. Did you like that Lipsky sub that he mentioned?
That's something that, you know, like he said, I'd throw $10 at, throw like, you know, a 20th of a unit, or a 5th of a unit at, or whatever, like a tiny little sprinkle. I don't think I would throw anything significant on that, but yeah, that's always always a fun prop. Always good to throw a couple darts.
Shit, this one says 1400. Did he say? It is 1400.
Yeah. He had 1400. Yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's go $10 on it if you like it.
Yeah, fuck it. 1/10 of a unit. If we win a unit and a half. Why not?
Yeah. The other one was okay. So there was a little bit of alignment here between me and you on the Nam.
I like Nam the dog. I would throw a half.
You do? Okay, I like him too. You want to go a half a unit on this one at plus 179?
Yeah, I like that. And then the only other play that I'm really, really big on is I like that over in the Guido Cannetti fight. That over 1.5 at plus 140.
Let me see the Guido fight.
Yeah, listen, okay. I think old man Guido is tough enough to last 7.5 minutes. That's all I need from him. 7.5 minutes for plus money.
Let's do it. All right, so we got Mario and Guido.
Damn, over 155 now. Yeah, I saw plus 140.
Pinnacle's at 157.
Dude, fucking feed me.
Let's go with Pinnacle. They're widely used.
Yeah.
How much you want to do a half unit on this one?
Yeah, we can do. I know it's just my play basically. We could throw a half unit out.
But no, because I looked at this one too. I thought it was gonna be obviously I didn't see that. I forgot about the odds, but I did like Mario on this one. But just based on that, but I didn't think he was gonna win in the first round or anything.
That's so what I'm saying.
Over 1.5 makes sense to me.
Yeah, it just feels mispriced to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could see that same exact price at 2.5 rounds. That would make I'm being serious. Like that would make more sense to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's see what we have here. Oops. Bankroll. Cap the cage. All right, so we actually got quite a few here, but obviously, some smaller.
This is always
smaller
how
bets.
it goes.
Yeah. All right, so we got Nam here, money line at a half unit plus 179. We got the big plus 1400 for just 1/10 of a unit there. Half unit on the Cannetti and Bautista over 1.5 rounds. There is a full. This is where it gets heavy. The full unit on Fremd and Merab at big plus money, and then we got Martinez as well at plus 215. 3/4 unit there. We got a lot of plus money stuff here going, and we don't really need to go. We don't have to have like a whole winning day as far as like
listen, if
wise
Merab
to get positive. Yeah.
If Merab in that over hit, that's a profitable day no matter what. If Fremd in that over hit, that's a profitable day no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
If Nam and one of the, you know what I mean? We only got to,
Yeah.
I mean, look, our record I think is 12-13, but we're still up.
Yeah, exactly.
Over 2 units because we take plus money. We don't eat the chalk.
Yeah. Man, that last week though, man.
Tough.
That hurt.
Tough.
Yeah, that hurt.
We were all so fucking confident. But yeah, back to what I said. Public dogs have fleas.
All right. Well, hey, that is the end of the show, guys. Harry, man, always love having the show with you. You bring a lot of energy, a lot of fun. You also bring your homies here, like the big bantamweight. One of the top. We're gonna see when he wins this fight. I think Pat talked about it. He might be top 10 after this.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely.
He has to.
Adrian is super talented. On top of being super talented, an incredibly nice dude. Always a pleasure to work with. Yeah, funny guy, man. Shout out to him for his time. If you're not already, make sure you're following him at Adrian Yañez 93. Check him out on millions.co. Check out all of his merch. Big shout out to Adrian for hopping on and joining us today.
Yeah, I wrote down his link, so I'll add it to the description just so that he has this stuff. Yeah. All right. Well, with that said, guys, whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you guys to make that call. Good luck with all your action. Till next week. Peace.